Beautiful people. Good morning for me. The Lord woke me up at 4 a.m. And was like, you need to do this now because I've put it off for so long. But hello, hello, hello. Welcome to this quick brand bloom workshop where I'm going to be sharing just all the tools I use to build multiple brands over the years and to do it at an affordable price. And the tools I'm now using to scale those brands, because I feel like in the beginning I was good at branding, not scaling. And just as I've been getting questions, I've been wanting to put together all those tools into one place. And so this is that workshop. So I'm not going to be going in depth into like, okay, here is how we're going to build a website, or anything like that. But this is just for all those questions on like, well, how did you build this product? How did you, launch this website without having inventory? Just showing all the websites and resources I've used to do those things is what this is going to be about. So I am so glad you're tuning in. It has been a long time coming. You probably are one of the people who asked me questions or saw where I did an Instagram post saying, hey, if you're interested in these things, let me know and I'll do a workshop. So it's finally this thing. And everything I'm going to be showing is pretty much a basic, like you can launch a brand in 7 days. When I sat down with a friend and helped her launch in 24 hours, I realized, okay, I'm really sitting on like, I think this is common knowledge, but I realize, a lot of times for us, the things that come easily to us because it's either our skill or the thing we're passionate about or that we've been studying, we don't realize that for others, they're in the dark and really clueless on where to even start. And so this is for like, if you have any brand already, maybe you're an artist, a musician, a business owner, and you already have an established brand, but you're trying to figure out ways maybe to inject products or inject another income stream. I do believe e-commerce right now is one of the most rewarding and simple ways to do that because you literally can have it online marketing itself for you, once you set up the right funnels or ads, as well as even the products just going out for you automatically if you utilize things such as print on demand or services that they will automatically just ship your products for you, fulfillment centers, even if you have your own product. So I do believe this area of knowledge is key for any brand. It can be injected into any business and can really expand your brand's awareness, impact, and income. So how to build a flourishing brand in 7 days, because I'm going to be going through 7 steps where you can literally decide to commit to one a day and have a website up and running. So we are going to dive into a quick overview. So mind setting, because as we know with a lot of this, it's always our mind that keeps us from even doing what needs to be done. Most things are simple, but not necessarily easy, only because of overcoming our mindset. Money mapping, which is just, how to dive into that financial plan of how to go about this. Merch making, modeling that merch, marketing it, measuring what you're marketing and getting in, and then mastering it. So a little quick backstory. So I am Robyn-Ann from Robyn-Ann.com, even though I no longer coach, which before I was mainly a life coach for women, but I always end up mentoring women in some arena. And even as I have been more behind the scenes with launching e-commerce businesses, I have still been helping all the women behind the scenes figure out that world. So I did want to put together a workshop where it was a bit easier to point people who are asking questions on how to do the same with starting an e-commerce brand. In any ways, I do love it. It is something that I've been doing for a long time with just launching brands. From MySpace days with helping to tweak people's MySpace templates, is where I learned to code. I think it's funny. I think I always hear Maya Elliott say the same thing, that that's where she learned to build websites. It was the same thing for me. And from there, I always loved building websites for people, would always build it for free. That's just how much I loved it. I would, if I heard that you had any idea, I wanted to build your website, help you get out there, take it seriously. So I've been doing that since, I mean, even before college. So that's like the 2000s, early 2000. Um, and then around when I graduated college, I launched a online magazine and print magazine called Salty Mag, which even further, I think is my first time taking that branding in a more serious way. But I definitely want to share everything I've learned over the past 20 years. Really, I've been building brands since about 2002, and so much has changed, but so much has become much easier. And I just want to simplify it to really encourage you. If you've even been thinking about it, even just testing an idea is so simple to just move forward with it, outsource it, delegate it. Even a lot of the tools I'm going to show you are ways that I outsource a lot of this. I don't do it myself. I have 2 toddlers, husband. I still do corporate consulting contracts, so I don't have much time to do much myself, but yet it's so affordable and simple now to find ways to get an idea tested, put it out there, and see what people respond to. After this, so my promise is to give you all those tools to make it simple to test any idea, run with it, and scale it even once things pick up. But if you want like more detailed help, then just reach out to me. I do only have limited capacity, like I said, but I knew from this I would most likely get those who are like, okay, I really want to study alongside you on how to build and scale and monetize my brand with products. And so reach out to me. If so, I'll probably only have a space for like 3 people at a time who I could commit to just walking with in more detail and coaching more specifically in terms of building and scaling an online brand. Brands that I have launched in the past. This was my main Lionheart, Uncaged coaching brand business. This one's a bit more behind the scenes, one of the ones that I'm working on now, but I don't put my face to that one. It's like kids, kind of like kids merch and wear. This is Salty Magazine, the magazine I mentioned before, print magazine. I did it on purpose. Was a lot of the merch I had linked to my Lionheart brand. In But Not Of was also another merch brand tied to Salty Magazine. Women Who Finish was my coaching academy. GratefulGains.com is another second brand I have been building behind the scenes. That one, even though I don't use my face, I can demo some of it today. It's not as private as the other brand that I definitely want to keep separate from my face. And this is that brand that I built less than a year ago. So this one is probably the one I'm more in the nitty gritty now of scaling it. Now that I've kind of tested it, I'm like, okay, I think people want this. Now I'm going to focus on scaling it. But sorry, I lost our page here. The next one after that will be this brand here. And I guess for those who jump in to go further or want more details with me with coaching, I'm going to start this one from scratch and build it alongside those 3 people. So, okay. That is a bit about me. Main rule here, like I said, is keep it simple. We want to put minor effort into, the things I'm about to show you, the things you're going to want to test. Don't overthink it. Don't procrastinate or try to make it perfect. You really just want to keep things as a draft until you test so that you know that you're not putting more into something that people don't even want or respond well to yet. So really keep it as I am just testing, and it really helps free you up. That's why even for me, a lot of the brands I'm doing now, I don't necessarily put my face on it because sometimes we get attached if our face is on it or we think it represents us and it can't fail. So if that helps you, do the same. Detach your face and literally just build a brand separately with some ideas or concepts. If you already have your established brand, then I think it's just knowing that you're launching a product under that brand. Do not take it, personal or think this is the big thing. Test being able to just share some products that people will probably enjoy receiving from you, wearing from you, rocking around their home from you, and just test and see which ones they respond to. Motivation. Remember your why. Simplicity. I'm sure it's why you're here. You're looking for simple solutions to increase your impact, your income, and your sanity. Keep your sanity. So, we definitely don't want to overdo it. Remember, the main motivation is simplicity and sanity, at least for me. Number 3, minimal investment. So, like I mentioned, with number 1, you don't want to overspend or overdo any investment here until you test things. So that's why, even though I know some people have asked, like how I built like purses like these definitely require an investment up front. And I didn't do that until I tested it, for example, with like print on demand products. And that's things like where I didn't have to invest anything. I just put a design on something, and using print on demand websites, they print up those products only when someone purchases. So that way I didn't have to invest any money up front. Only after kind of testing and I knew comfortably how to build products that way, did I then move into where I got bulk inventory to create something custom. But upfront, even before you create something custom, I always say test the basic version of it first with little money up front. Monitor. You're mainly here to be the brain, so you want to outsource as much as possible and make sure you're just monitoring how things are going, how ideas are, kind of being responded to, how your audience is taking it, and make tweaks, if anything, to then scale or, change. But you don't want to be taking on big commitments that are going to suck your time and your brain. Because then when your brain power is gone, you lose the ability to be agile and be the visionary who can shift and find new ideas that will work. And mentor. I'm here. Ask me any questions. I've done a lot of failing and fidgeting already. So always reach out. And if there's another resource that I have, I'll quickly point you to that. And like I said, if I just get enough questions and I realize, okay, maybe we do want maybe not like a 4-hour masterclass that really goes through building a brand from scratch, we will do that. But I think these days people are so short on time. I didn't want to build a 4-hour masterclass when it was not needed. I do think a lot of what I'm about to show you is simple. And just with a little bit of digging, which I'll show just how I, kind of find what I'm looking for on some of these websites, you can be off to the races. So we're going to keep this quick. Okay, mind setting. As we all know, is mainly mind mastery. And so for me, that means really knowing your why and where you're ending up, and then anticipating those obstacles, those objections, those strategies that you're going to need for overcoming upfront before you start. To me, that's just overcoming anything mentally and overcoming it before you actually start. Is, they say you need to win in your mind before you actually win, is really just laying out those things. What is the outcome I'm looking for? What will be the obstacles that I can expect? Some you can't expect, but a lot of them, if you really just do some research, you can expect. And then have a plan for overcoming those obstacles. And then as well as knowing the objections that your mind most likely is going to come up with. Your mind, the fears that tend to pop up, what tends to trigger you or distract you, and lay those out so you can already have a plan for overcoming them mentally, meaning you already mentally know what your response will be to those things, how you will, tell your mind or take control of your mind and remind yourself that you are going to pursue this outcome because of XYZ. I know these days a lot of people use manifesting or manifestation, but it really is just creating your desired outcome. To me, that's the definition of manifestation, which is not too far from the real definition. And not creating it in terms of just, saying affirmations and expecting things to appear, but you setting up the right systems that can support the outcome you're going towards. As we know, everything just requires not just a certain habit that supports it. Well, I think that's Atomic Habits, where he really encourages you to set up a system that beats any habit. If the system of your day to day or of your household already runs a certain way in a certain trajectory, that's where you're going to go, despite the habits you develop. So you want to make sure you kind of put systems in place towards this outcome, which is why I'm going to show you systems of delegating things to people, systems that make these things easier. Because to me, that's how I've been able to overcome mentally a lot of obstacles to just doing and feeling overwhelmed. Money mapping. So it's the simple, because again, I'm trying to do the digested form of everything here. And as you'll know, for everything, I'll kind of have like an easy mode, which is where I'm just saying, hey, this is what we're going to use to make it easy. This is either the resource or the definition that we're going to use to not overthink this. So for money mapping, to me, it's one, just making sure you're choosing the most desirable business model for your intended lifestyle. So for example, if you're really looking for more time, then don't start a business that's really going to drain your time or require a lot of you or your face or, things like that. So if right now you are here because you're looking for ways to kind of increase that simplicity in your life, free you up, give you more time by giving you more income, then be aware of, choosing a product or a model that's going to come easily, that's going to align with your lifestyle and who you already are and the identity and the, as Danielle Leslie would say, the culture ad that you already bring to the table, so that you're aligning with things that flow out of you easily. I'll kind of go into it a bit more later on, just even when you're brainstorming what to go for, you want to stick to areas that kind of match up already with either your culture or things you've been looking for that you can't find, or just areas that you already enjoy. And then second to choosing a business model, such as, hey, e-commerce brand that can print my products on demand and ship them for me without needing me, you want to make sure you choose the right pricing structure to match that income goal and that lifestyle. So a lot of times we do price ourselves out of business. I've done that multiple times in the past. So that's why for me, I can't not mention pricing things, not for what you think people can afford, not for what you yourself even may think you can afford or what you think your peers can afford. And that's why if it's easier to detach yourself and your face from the brand, do that, because you need to ensure you're setting a price that actually works. What does that mean? A lot of times for pricing, it needs to be high enough to support ads that you are going to run, so that you're not having to be on social media yourself every day marketing something. It needs to be able to support discounts. Or if you run a sale and you run 25% off, you still don't have a loss. This extra 25% was still, above your standard profit. It can account for just testing out an idea for a few weeks, to see, who responds, or, paying for websites and just some of the background systems that you're most likely going to need to use and pay for. And so a lot of times what that just looks like is making sure whatever your cost is, you want to at least 3 to 4 times that, to make sure it's a good enough profit margin that can support the things mentioned above. And easy mode, again, I'm going to mention here, start with print on demand products where possible. So even for gratefulgains.com that I mentioned earlier, where it's custom planners that are prayer led and have a specific outline that I had to pay for bulk. Even with that, a lot of it is still supported by print on demand products. Like all of these are products, if someone orders, I don't need to do anything. It's going to go right to them. So it's just some accessories, and this collection probably isn't a good example. But even the digital products that we know, once you create it and you put it out there, someone buys it, they immediately download it. You have nothing that you need to do. So whether it's digital products or print on demand products, start with something simple that will not require a lot from you or take time from your desired lifestyle. And so I mentioned it before, websites such as printify.com, printful.com, or even aliexpress.com are where you would be looking to design your products and launch your products. Because Printify and Printful are examples of, like, they print these products for me if someone orders it, and they automatically ship it to them. Let me just get a better example. So for example, if someone orders this crew neck, it automatically gets shipped out to them without me even knowing about it or needing to care about it. And then they just send me the profits. So that's what I mean by print on demand. They only print it once someone already gives the money to them via your store. And then you just keep the profits that you decided that you wanted. Aliexpress is just another version of that, but they definitely have a wider selection of products. It's not specifically print on demand like these first two, but you can find products such as maybe like if you do want to go into the jewelry business, instead of needing to order 300 of your own necklaces, which you would use Alibaba.com for that, for both things. Alibaba.com is where you go. AliExpress is instead another option for finding a supplier. So let's go to jewelry. You can then probably find a supplier who allows you to create a custom necklace, and they will do the same thing though, where they will only ship that necklace to the person once you get a sale. So AliExpress kind of connects with some of those same vendors as Alibaba.com, but it finds the ones who are willing to do it in more of a print demand fashion and to only do it one by one. So, you maybe want to start with just someone picking their own initial, or some of them even allow you to create your own text that they want their name on a necklace. And the supplier will agree that, yeah, we'll wait for someone to buy their name necklace on our website before we'll ship it out. So on AliExpress.com, you definitely want to make sure you're communicating. You can always contact the vendor to just confirm, hey, do you do, custom or kind of on-demand orders? And most of them on AliExpress do. That's the difference between AliExpress, and the biggest difference between AliExpress.com and Alibaba.com. You can do some single orders one by one. Obviously on any of these sites, when you're going to get into AliExpress or Alibaba, you want to make sure the reviews are high, at least, above a 4 stars, not just for the product, because that lets you know that typically those who got the product, they like the quality of it, they like the shipping times, but also for the vendor down here. You want to make sure that this store has a good rating also, above 90%. I like to do even higher, above 95% for the stores, and above 4.7 stars for the products. Again, just to make sure there are no issues, and that if I have any problems, that I know they're going to be pretty responsive, because that's what those ratings signify. Okay, so once we have, kind of decided on our money structure, meaning that, okay, I want to design maybe an e-commerce or digital product business, and I want to hit this income, and so I want these products. For example, when I started, I was like, okay, I know I'm trying to make like 10,000 a month. And so I wanted to ensure I didn't want to sell a product that was less than $100 in profit, because I wanted to just not guarantee, at least that's the pricing model for me that worked, that I knew if I just sold 1,000 of those a month, then I don't know, I felt like that was a good number to me. Just sell 1,000 of something that costs $100 and I'm good. Another way I've done it is, and this is like big, if you're just like, okay, I just know I want to make $1 million at the end of the year in profit. So, I just want to make sure that I have one product when I switch to like the higher scaled or higher priced items on gratefulgains.com. I wanted to make sure every product at least made a profit of $200, because I know if I just sold that times 5,000, that's $1 million for the year. And I'm like, selling 5,000 of one thing over a year, I can do that, whether it's focusing on peak seasons or, keeping a consistent income per month. To me, that felt doable. I was like, I could sell 5,000 of something with a $200 profit model, and 5,000 times 200 is what equals $1 million. So then I set out now to find a product that would fit that $200 um, profit price, and that I'm like, I know that industry or that target audience well enough to where I can sell it to 5,000 of those people. So that's for me how my, example money mapping kind of broke down, which then decided the type of product that I knew I would look for, and then the type of merch or merchandise that I would pick. So now, for example, let's use what I said, where I know 5,000 times 200 was $1 million. I need to find something for 200. So, I went with like purses and like jewelry. I feel like women could pay a lot higher price points for that. And so when we go with, that, say I wanted to start with jewelry, you want to then gather some simple concepts, images, or phrases that would speak to your target audience right away. So for me, with Grateful Gains, I decided to tap into the Christian female market, because I've always mentored. I'm a Christian female, one. I know what I look for and I can't find, which is mainly why I started Grateful Gains. I couldn't find certain planners that were fashionable and faith-based, as well as I mentor a lot of those women, I coach a lot of those women, I'm around a lot of those women. And so I knew it wouldn't need a huge learning curve for me to understand that audience. However, you can do that if there's an audience, for example, that you're just curious about. You've always been curious to understand golfers, for example, or you're getting into golfing. And so, you're about to do a lot of research on that. And maybe there's certain things you're not finding. You want some cute female golf gear. You're not finding that, or cute female tees to just rep other female golfers, because they're not a lot, but it's a niche market that once you tap into it, they would love that because they can't find any of that around. Again, that's another thing I've also been looking for. But you want to, just make sure you are staying in a vein of what's going to be easy for you, and it's going to align with where you're already going or some of your already intended lifestyles. Then, so, going back to my Christian female audience, one of the phrases, for example, that was really encouraging me in a season was just God saying, I promise. And me just having to remember, like, this is God saying, I promise we're going to be good. So then I made a necklace, just recently that was like, I promise God. That's it, and something like that. It was still simple enough where if I wanted to do it via Aliexpress.com, I could say, I just want to put this phrase on one of the custom necklaces that they sell. Obviously, they wouldn't pre-make them just for me. I'd have to look for those who are selling personalized necklaces or custom necklaces. And on my website, though, the only option they would see is I promise God. And I would target Christian females who I know are trying to encourage themselves also to stand on God's promises and, look past their circumstance. So, that's one example that now that I feel like I have a phrase that's simple enough to put on merch, I can put it on t-shirts, I could put it on jewelry, I could put it on now whatever product that fits my price point. Then now, like that second bullet says, you merge that with products that, people love to rock or wear, or that they could display around their home. So just to give another example, if you're like an artist and there are certain, song lyric or single that, a lot of your audience has been very responsive to, being able to put that on merch. Or, if, for example, I'm Jamaican and you're, just really tied in with your ethnicity or your nationality, and that there's just certain phrases or certain quirks or certain jokes that are common and commonly recognized by that tribe, you can just put that on merch and then target them specifically online, because with the ad tools now, You don't need to go around and find those people in actual communities, that they are all over the world. You can just target them online in the different pockets that they may be all over the world, and let those ads do that for you. And then, like, the third bullet says, don't be afraid to get controversial, because that's what will really, draw someone's eye, get their attention. And again, me just stressing, start with print on demand sites before getting custom orders. Even if you do get custom orders, start with a very small batch. And that's again where Aliexpress.com comes in handy. Alibaba vendors tend to require large orders that are like at least 500 or 1,000, 5,000, things like that. And you don't want to be caught having 5,000 products that nobody wants. So, start with a smaller batch, maybe of like 20, and then test it. AliExpress tends to have vendors where, like I said, you can order smaller amounts. Here's some just ideas, famous music lyrics, maybe in your demographic, or, a certain demographic that you're in, or, the artist vein that you're in, common history that you guys share, inside jokes, cultural themes, dreams or desires of that group, sell that lifestyle that, a certain group is looking for or working towards. Quirks and beliefs, common enemies or pet peeves, wishes for their kids, like that brand that I said I don't have my face on. I was looking for certain things for my two daughters, couldn't find them. So now, that's what I'm branching into. Love or relationship needs always are big, just even custom jewelry for, those are celebrating their relationships, a long distance, Jamaican couples. There are so many ways you can go, struggles, etc. So easy mode on this one with merch making. We've already touched a lot on the print demand sites. But now when you're designing some of these simple concepts that we're talking about, or phrases, you also want to keep this very simple. Canva.com is a free site. You can pay if you want some upgraded features, but it's free. I've used a free version for years to create a ton of products that allows you to just tap into some templates, or even if you have a certain logo. Sometimes I go for the logo, even if it's for a t-shirt design, because the logo designs are cleaner. So for example, if I just do logo templates, I probably should have been more specific than general logo, but they have a ton. I think it said, what was that, over 49,000 templates, or over 48,000 here on the left, to kind of review. So even if, I want to pick this really, and for my I Promise God design, I'm trying to find one that would probably work for that, then I could just grab a logo that I already know has a very distinct image, and you can then just throw your words in there and you're good to go. Good to go. Oh, this one's really good. I've got it for a brand. Definitely clean and stands out. So there are tons of thousands. You could get more specific. For example, if you want something floral, if you want something that's just text only, minimalist, modern. I'm trying to see what are some of the breakdowns here. Feminine, bold, luxury, colorful. You can definitely just choose that to then design your phrase, and that way it's clean. But they also have a ton of other templates if you want to utilize those for creating your phrase. So dive into canva.com. It is a playground for sure. Then you have fiverr.com. So fiverr.com is where you can find people who will do things for like $5 or, more now, but it's still pretty affordable. So, for example, if you are trying to look for a t-shirt design, you're going to get a ton of stuff coming up. I am a member, but I'm not trying to sign in right now. And with Fiverr.com, because everybody and their mama, of course, can say that they can design a shirt, you want to look at the portfolio. So just being able to simply flip through and see what some of their past designs are to see if it meets the aesthetic you're looking for, and is up to the quality you're looking for, really helps. If you want it busy, then this person may be better. If you want something a bit more minimalist, then even searching for a minimalist t-shirt design would probably be better, actually, because there are just so many. And then you could try to find something more elegant, or even type in elegant and find a designer that understands the aesthetic you're going for. If you're a female who's looking for some feminine concepts, this person seems to best understand some of that. But you want to go through their portfolio and you want to make sure they have a very high rating. I tend to stick to 5 stars. 4.9 is not the worst, especially if they have over 600 customers. But I tend to be bougie. 5 stars or nothing. And you can kind of browse and find something that fits what you're looking for. And feel free to get very specific in the search. Then creativemarket.com. So where I mentioned my friend, where I helped her design, her products and launch her website and brand in like 24 hours. I just showed her, because she's kind of already artsy in that way. So I just had to show her creativemarket.com. And she was off to the races, because there are so many patterns, fonts, templates, backgrounds, colors on here that she just ran with it. So for example, if you're creative, seeing something like this, probably just that alone gives you a million ideas. Like, I just see this font and I'm like, I could create a whole brand off of this ransom no letter font. So it was similar. I just showed her this website. She saw a pattern that it made a couple patterns, and she mixed it into kind of her own aesthetic that's fun and colorful, put some phrases on it that she uses a lot around her peers, and bam, we were to then throw that on some products, put them on Printify.com, link it to her website. Her store was done in 24 hours. So again, there are so many tools. So to break down the differences between Canva, Fiverr, and Creative Market, if you feel like I want to at least test out probably what I'm looking for first and try to make some concepts myself, because I'm not sure, try canva.com to see if anything inspires you, because then you could play around yourself and it's very easy interface to use. For Fiverr.com, if you feel like I don't even feel like I have a design bone in my body, I just know maybe I have some phrases I want someone to design for me, then do Fiverr.com, where they'll do it for you. Just try to screenshot a few examples of things that you like, give it to someone and say, this is what I like. Can you design something like this for me? And then if you feel like, okay, I'm definitely design driven, artsy, creative, and I want even more tools than what Canva may offer me, I want to do some custom stuff, Creative Market is where then you would dive into that for some custom fonts or patterns, etc. So that's a breakdown of that. Okay. Like I said, this is me sharing all the tools that I use. If you see it, even that custom flourish collection I showed you guys, that was off of creativemarket.com. That floral pattern, if you're just looking for just some simple patterns ready to fit a concept you have in mind. For me back then, it was spring, green. I just went to creativemarket.com, pull that, threw that on some products to push that for this past spring's collection. All right, don't stress yourself out with complex brainstorming. Use the tools. All right, so now you have, given some examples to a Fiverr person. They've come up with some really dope concepts for you. And now you're ready to put it on some merch in Printify.com or Printful.com. Luckily for print, in the past I used Printful, but recently I'm using Printify. And so they'll give you a few mock-ups. This is not a good example, because for this crew neck, they only gave like one mock-up, which is typically they give a lot more. Let me try to find an example where they gave a few more mock-ups. Okay, so like even with this t-shirt, they gave a lot more mock-ups at Printify.com. So then I didn't even really worry about getting any other mock-ups. They kind of show it as a flat lay, they showed it hanging on a hanger, they showed it on a person. that I really didn't need to do much else for my website. It was already mocked up, modeled, and good to go. Good to go. However, if you do need some additional mock-ups, canva.com, again, don't sleep on them. Great if it's like basic t-shirt mock-ups, phone case mock-ups, phone screensaver mock-ups, things like that. Placeit.com or placeit.net also has amazing inventory of mock-ups that you can use to show your product on actual models. And they have a very diverse selection of models and, kind of what they're wearing. I'm not going into the right thing. Sorry, let me go into designs, apparel. Let's try to do more like hoodie. Let's do female hoodie mock-up, for example. And as you can see, they have a ton that you could choose. You can change the color to fit the color of your hoodie, put the design on there, and put that on your website, put that all over social media. And that's you having models, multiple models that you can kind of show as representing your design without needing to pay for actual models. Again, you can have this up in a few days. You don't need to go and try to find models like you would have to do back in the day. These tools are out there and there's so many. Again, canva.com is where I would go first. They have a ton that are free. These, they do have some free ones, but I know a lot of the quality ones can come with a price. Maybe like $1 or something. Let's see, I'm not logged in. Let me see what they would charge me. If I wanted to download, if it's going to take too long, we move on. I have to design it first. Okay. But I know it's like a few bucks. Much cheaper than hiring a model for hundreds and a photographer, right? Okay. So let me exit some of these. Back to our easy mode. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay. So I mentioned Fiverr. I did not mention Fiverr. I mentioned Canva for mockups. Fiverr also, you can find someone to do some really fancy mockups for you, or even to find models on there for cheap. Someone will be like, we'll model your stuff for cheap if you ship it to us. Trend is what I used a lot initially for Grateful Gains, because you can get actual like influencers who are good at maybe shooting content to model that stuff. I'm trying to find like examples from videos. Oh, the I Promise necklace that I mentioned. With jewelry, I kind of wanted to show someone actually modeling that. And so here's an example of it, like the necklace, the bracelet, the earrings, that I wanted to make sure they could see that it's real jewelry and how it looks on a real person, not just photos. So Trend was good for that, but they have a lot of websites now that allow you to find, because Trend is paid. There are websites where you can just send, and I found a really good one recently. Gosh, I can't remember the name. I didn't put it on the slides here. But if you just Google like free influencer content, I'm sure you'll find websites that allow you to just send your products for free and get content in exchange for them just getting that product. So you'd have to first order it from the print on demand site, or make sure when you order it, ship it to that model, and they could create like video content, for example, if you want that route. Suna.com, they do professional, like if you want some high grade website photos, that's what Suna is good for. You just ship your products to them and they'll really stage it well and photograph. And Billow.com is similar to Trend, but they'll do really marketing driven photos, like, planners. But I think I took off the marketing stuff. Oh, so like this one, where how stunning this Grateful it's not just someone modeling it, they're adding some extra footage. Kind of loud, let's stop that, but you get the gist. So I would definitely utilize a lot of these. And actually, right now, what I've been doing, and when you get comfortable enough, you just do that, is just reaching out to people on my target demographic on Instagram and saying, hey, would you give us an honest video or reel review in exchange for us sending you this product? And we're getting a lot of people who say yes. And the majority of our videos now are that. It's just sending product and they're like, oh, they record a video saying how much they love it. This is what it is, da 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 da. And that's great to put on your website, on your ads, anywhere. People seeing real user generated content is a big term these days. UGC videos of people using your product. And that's free, apart from the cost of the product. All right. So let us dive into step 5. I'm trying to keep this under an hour, but we may go over. So marketing. So now that you have your concepts, you have them designed, you threw them on some merch, you ordered some samples of that merch and got some people to kind of model it, create some videos and some photos for that. Now you're ready to market, right? You're ready to set up your website and also now market that website to the world, or really not really to your target audience. You want to make sure you start off with it's actually better to go more niche than to go broader. That's where the money is. The riches are in the niches, as some people say, because that audience feels like you can speak directly to them. So your ads can be way more tailored in the language to that audience, which catches their attention online. Because as we know, it's very noisy online and on social media. So those free influencers I mentioned last, where, you just reach out and ask them for content, even they come in handy because you get to see what their reaction is. Because again, you just ask them for an honest review. You kind of get to see how they respond, and that's an initial kind of testing phase for you and can generate some activity because they're posting it on their social media page. So you see what the comments say also. And then, setting up social media pages is big because we know people live on social media. So that's one way to not have to try to figure out how to find people. Go where they are, and they're living on social media. They're living on Facebook, they're living on Instagram, they're living on TikTok. Go there. And then, as we know, all three of those that I mentioned, for example, allow you to create ads that cater to more specific audiences on those social media pages. And so you want to do that. You don't just want to advertise to everyone. You want to make sure, they have gotten a bit interesting now with how you can target. Like, for example, you may not be able to target African American or Black, like by race, but the type of music or the type of shows that most likely African Americans or Blacks will watch. So you can utilize those things to target now. It's not necessarily going to give you just some of those direct demographic options. So you'll just have to get creative. If you know your audience well, think of just the things that they watch, the things that they do, activities, things they visit, magazines they read. If people read magazines anymore, they do. Books they read, things like that to target them. Here I have key phrases or hangouts, jokes, because that helps with the language and the messaging within your ad so that when you're speaking to them, crack a joke as a first line that only they will get. That first line already is going to grab their attention because, oh, wow, how does somebody know, in our Jamaican culture, for example, that is, I know they're talking to me. They're only talking to Jamaicans. It's going to grab my attention more than the general ad that's passing by, as an example. So you want to make sure you utilize those things in your ads and in your marketing to speak and make your audience feel at home, make them feel like, oh, they know me, and make them like you and trust you even more because of that connection. Some examples if you feel a bit stuck. So similarweb.com or Facebook ads library, really good for you to look up some existing ads if you feel like I'm not even sure where to start. You literally, or TikTok also has an ads library where if you just search for Facebook ads library, you will be able to search for ads that are currently running on Facebook by similar brands or with similar products. So for example, choose an ad category. If I know I'm trying to sell, I just do all ads. And if you know your competitor, so for example, with me being in the planner world, I looked up some of other Christian planners. So say I put in Christian planner because mine was a Christian planner. Okay, I see some of the advertisers here that kind of come up for that. I can click on them directly. Or if I just say, well, no, let's just say Christian planner. And I can immediately see what are some of the ads that they are running right now and get an idea. One, if it's been running for a long time, it's a good ad because someone only typically keeps an ad going if, hey, we are getting a lot of feedback, a lot of traction, a lot of sales from this ad. So, it works. People are paying attention to it. So for example, this ad, it doesn't show how long it's been running. Oh yeah, it's at the top here, but this is fairly new. It has multiple versions, and let me just play this one. It just draws my attention. I see that they're showing someone using it, and they're calling out some of the main features of it. And so I'm like, okay, I have an idea of, if I want to do an ad like that. Or they're doing like the Billow website I mentioned that gives you some of these more markety call outs. And then, I can just keep looking. They're doing an unboxing. Trying to look for one that's been around for a long time so that we know it's definitely been performing well for them. But they have a lot. Yeah, they're a big brand right now. So this one seems to be the oldest one from March 1st. So we know that, okay, this has been doing pretty well for them. And it's someone talking about coming home from church, giving a word. They probably took sermon notes in the planner. Who knows? This is something I pay attention to. So this is an example of something that you'd want to make sure you look for are the ads that have been on the website longer because, they've already been tested. They speak to their target audience and you could kind of watch for what are some of the key things they're doing. Are they using someone's face? Are they just demoing the product? And at least you go in with some data already on what works with that audience. Okay. So those are some of the tools you want to use. And as well, Canva, don't sleep on it. Have ad templates, social media templates to go ahead and create content because obviously if an ad pops up for someone on social media, someone's going to try to see, oh, who is this? And they're going to most likely click on your Instagram page, just see what else you have or just get a vibe for your brand. So you want to have some content there that represents you. You really don't need a lot. Don't think you need to push out reels every day. Just a few that really kind of tell them a little bit about the product, give them a vibe of the brand is all you need on your page. Make sure it immediately just has a theme so people immediately kind of know what to expect and what your brand is about. Utilize those stories at the top, obviously, to do like some about us, gives them some history on why you started this brand. You couldn't find Christian planners that are fashionable. Do some, reviews from some customers there if you have that. If not, just do some, some of those UGCs or show people modeling it, things like that. Use those stories, use that feed on your page, Facebook page, TikTok, Instagram, to give people a vibe so that when they now want more from the ad, they can sense that. And then most likely they'll come to your website. You do get a lot of people just click immediately from the ad to the website. But some people do their research too on social media since that's where they want to see if they feel socially connected. And obviously too, when they hit your landing page for your website, you want to make sure that that has a good aesthetic, that matches. You want some quality photos. So I don't think I call that out. Yeah. We talked about photos you can get from Suna and some of these influencers. But some other websites I didn't mention that have really cheap photography, snapper.com, SNAPPR.com. You can find a local photographer for an hour or two really quickly, as well as, oh, the other one just blanked my mind. But you can get some, even just setting up your own white background, buy a white poster board and just get white, at least white background shots, or some other neutral color. You could ship it off to someone on Fiverr and they could clean it up for your website. As I mentioned that, I don't think I put website options and I know I meant to. But to start off free, here are like the 8 best free e-commerce website builders. I think I meant to create a slide with this. I forgot. Like I said, the Lord woke me up at 4 a.m. like, get this done. So it was a bit like, come on, let's just stop procrastinating and knock this out for you guys, and just share all my tools. I use Shopify right now. Like they say, the best for larger businesses. In my mind, is to scale. Y'all heard the vision. We want to try to hit 1 million every year. So I knew I wanted something with some robust analytics, because I'm also only using ads mainly to market, ads and UGC content. So Shopify is really good with a lot of built-in just analytics for seeing what products are performing well, and as a result, then what products you may want to tweak or push more, market more, things like that. I know a lot of these other websites also do, but like they said, Shopify have a lot of those tools just readily available. I mean, the amount of details I feel like they give me every day to like suggest like, hey, these shoppers bought the most from you this time last year. You may want to send them a coupon, just things like that. That I they really add that extra oomph. But I know a lot of people who use Wix and make a lot of money on Wix, on Big Cartel for e-commerce. Square must be a bit newer. I was surprised to see this one, but I know they're well known for being able to accept credit card payments for stores. So it makes sense that they went with the website. Squarespace, beautiful websites, and they've become better with e-commerce. I know people used to complain that the store options weren't that good, but they've gotten better with that. Big Commerce is another good one. So Big Commerce and Big Cartel, I would say, if you want free, Big Cartel. If you want free, Big Cartel, I would recommend over Wix. So never mind. Big Commerce is a free trial. WooCommerce, if you already have a blog or WordPress website, WooCommerce is the best to just add your store onto that. So in the past, when I had the Salty magazine, since obviously we were mainly articles and blogs, I used WordPress and then added in the WooCommerce to link it to Printful, because again, we were still doing print on demand even way back then. I did not need that extra stress. Running in a magazine was hectic enough, but this allowed us to just plug that in to the website. People could buy products, order products, and I wouldn't have to do anything there once I launched the products and the designs and the mock-ups. I've never heard of Magenta or Magento, so research. But for websites, this is where you want to, these are some really great options to go with based on the investment you want to make. And I've lost my slides. Here we go. And like I mentioned with any of this, if initially you're doing some of the research yourself, you want to eventually hire a VA to take these things off your plate. Because again, you want to be in monitor brain mode. You want to just make sure once you set these up, you kind of are delegating them if you have not already, or if you haven't already automated them to run by themselves. So even for ads, Fiverr is great. That's what I used when I first started Grateful Gains, to just have a Fiverr person set up ads for me to test which audiences worked best with the planners. And even though I launched really late in December last year, and knew nothing about ads, the Fiverr person was only like $100. They set up like 3 ads for me to test. And, in 3 months, we made like $10,000. So, and that was only running like $5 a day. So again, you don't need to start with a lot. I think $5 or $3 may be the minimum. $5 is a good kind of number people typically recommend, to say $5 in ad costs per day, and then to kind of just judge which ads first are responsive and are doing well. Obviously, if ads start doing really well and you're getting back like at least 2 times the ROAS, people call it, or the return on ad spend. So if you spend $5 and you're getting back at least 10, that's a good investment, right? You know you're going to double whatever you're putting in, then obviously start to scale that. And the higher the better. If you put in 5 and you're getting 20, that's 4 times the return on ad spend. You definitely want to make sure you copy those ads and increase that ad budget, so that now if you spend 100 a day, you can get back 400 per day. Um, things like that is how you want to do that. But a Fiverr person can quickly be hired to help with that. Look at their ratings like everything else, so you know that they have been tested, they know what they're doing, and you can find someone for cheap. I found someone for $100 who set up mine, and I made $10,000. So the first 3 months. So also a VA was helping with, like I said, just having influencers now just create content in exchange for products. They're managing all of that. I literally have them DM people who fit the demographic, respond. They go to our website. They know how to order the product. The product automatically goes to them. They monitor when they post for us. They download the links so that we can use it later as content for ourselves. A VA handles all of that. All right. Marketing was a lot, but this is your key. You do not need to show your face. You can set up systems that are pretty automatic. Oh, I don't think I mentioned it here. I must mention it over here. I don't. I'll mention it here though. Or maybe it's later. Preflect. That's just another option for ads. So like I said, you can utilize Fiverr.com to look up Facebook ads setup. Preflect, I knew when Facebook shut down my ads account for a long time. I use them, and I don't know why it's not showing any data. I would have to log in, so never mind. But pretty much they allow you to, they use like artificial intelligence. So if for whatever reason, say like me, Facebook shuts down your ad account they didn't even explain why. I think I'm still trying to get them to explain. I think it was something with some addresses didn't match up between my credit card and something else. But people will tell you Facebook may be fickle. Now you have TikTok as a backup. Back then, you didn't, so it would feel like a crunch. But TikTok is also good to just start early if you can, to just get an ad set up there too to test. Preflect, they can bypass all of that. So if any of your accounts have either just been blocked, or you don't want to set up account like a TikTok account, but you want to market on TikTok, Preflect is pretty good with allowing you to, they'll push your ads there without you having to have that relationship. So like you having to have a Facebook ads account, you don't need to do that with Preflect. They have an option where they'll utilize their own relationship with Facebook to market your ads and point people to your website pages. I love too how easy it is to just upload like some of those videos you got from your, influencer content, UGC content, and they'll you can put in different captions to test. So maybe they give you the option for like 5 different captions. You put it in, they're going to test which ones work best as they're testing different different audiences that look like your past purchasers. So they simplify it a lot. If for whatever reason you need a workaround, I have used them as a workaround, and they definitely did work. Okay. Measuring. Interesting that this is where I'm talking about setting up your website. But I already kind of went through some of the website options I would utilize. Again, with website though, let me say this, don't try to figure that out yourself. I got a Fiverr person to do that for like $50 to set up the Grateful Games website. It is not what it is right now. It was simpler, but it was still elegant. You tell them which template you like. You look for, if you're on Wix, you look for Wix templates. I'm on Shopify. I looked for Shopify templates that I liked. I said, I have this template I like. I want this website set up. I had my photos ready. Just make sure you have your stuff ready. Have your photos ready that you got from either Suna.com or you took yourself and had some Fiverr person clean it up, or Snapper.com photographer, whatever. Just have your photos ready. And if it's Printify.com or Printful that you use, they already come with their own mock-ups. So, you don't even need photos necessarily. But if you wanted some extra, just have those ready. And then you can have someone, even with helping you link Printify and Shopify, for example. I had my person just link the two for me. You can look for that. So for example, you would say Shopify and Printify setup on demand. So I will Shopify POD's print on demand store with Printify and Printful. And the reviews are high though, even though that sentence did not make any sense. They have 5 stars, 81 people that they've helped. That's not bad. Sometimes you'll see Fiverr's Choice. They say, I will set up your Printify, Printful store with unique designs. So if somebody just really has a few designs off top and you want them to design it and set up your Printify for you, they'll do that. These people say, I will upload your products on Printful, Printify, Shopify, and Etsy. So that's a bonus if you also want to incorporate Etsy, which I can't believe I didn't mention yet. But yes, Etsy is an amazing place where even with Printify and Printful, you can use them as a platform. You don't have to go with a website. You can go with linking it to Etsy and it will market it too, where you get your own, page showing off your products. The good thing about Etsy is a lot of people already come to Etsy searching for stuff. So they can almost add as another layer of marketing for you, which is good because we definitely too, even though we haven't picked up and focused sales there, we do have an Etsy store also with our products, because why not? People are coming there searching for stuff. Okay. So yeah, you can find anything on Fiverr, literally. If you're wondering, like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to do this and I'm feeling stressed, just go to Fiverr. Don't stress about it. Okay, so like we've said here, you want to set up a website so that you can start driving traffic and measure if people are converting to sales, and if they're signing up for your email. Didn't mention that here, so this is where we will do it. But you want to make sure when you create your website that just in case they didn't purchase, they got on your email list, because a lot of times most people don't buy on the first time. They may buy after they've heard from you 4 times, 10 times. So getting their email just ensures you can nurture that relationship. Klaviyo.com. So this is giving me ideas for what to go back and add in here. Klaviyo.com. I know there are others, but that's the one I use for email. It's where it integrates with my website. So as soon as people come, I have a pop-up that says, hey, sign up for email and get 15% off or 10% off. And it immediately will offer them that option. That's a way you want to trade, something. When you have an e-commerce store, the easiest way to do that is offering a discount code. Other times some people offer a freebie that your audience would like, something fun, or something that would be useful or valuable to them. You can offer that instead. But for products, a good discount code to drive sales tends to go in the right direction. You get their email and it incentivizes them to buy at a discount. So I got, again, someone on Fiverr.com set that up for me. They already had templates I would not even think of. They already had abandoned cart flows. So they set up emails for if someone added something in their cart, but they left it, they forgot. They get an email maybe a few hours after that say, hey, we noticed you forgot this item. Do you want to check out now, for example? And if they put in their SMS or text number, we'll also send them a text message to maybe say the same thing. Hey, get an extra 20% off if you check out now with the product. It shows them the product that they had. Technology right now is amazing. So, I would not have thought of that stuff. And when I was searching Fiverr, that's why sometimes searching Fiverr just helps. It helps you think of other things because you see what they're offering to set up for you. And you're like, that actually sounds amazing. So I saw that they were saying they could set up abandoned cart for them to leave a review after they've bought. There were different flows that were like, yeah, all those look very relevant. And about me, it kind of just nurtures them to see some of your products. There are just so many, there's so much knowledge out there that others have, that just tapping into that is best. So you're not stressing yourself out. Just make sure you look at their reviews. That way, they have satisfied customers. Okay. And you want to have both set up so you can monitor if people are signing up to the emails and or they're converting with buying things. You can see which products are doing well. You need websites that can do both. Okay, have an email funnel ready to nurture the leads. That's what I was just talking about. Abandoned cart users, and keep them, maybe even once a week, sending them something. Hey, here's something you probably didn't know about this product, or hey, we just want to highlight some of our best sellers, or hey, here is some a discount code for this week, or something like that kind of keeps them engaged with your emails and keeps them buying, because a customer who you already have in hand is always better than the one you don't yet have. All right, and then you'll also need to link your website pixels to your ads. I think my throat is dry. To create various ad copies and test performance. This got very technical, and this is something that most likely you just want to make sure your Fiverr person is doing. But if you're trying to set it up yourself, a big part of ads is just setting up what they call pixels, which just enables Facebook, for example, to track what happened on your website. When someone clicked on the Facebook ad, did they buy, or did they only add to cart and they left, or did they get almost there to check out and then they left? So it could help you see if there may be issues. If a lot of people are adding to cart but maybe not checking out, it lets you know, okay, so the ad's engaging, the website page even is engaging, they're adding to cart, but maybe it's either the price, maybe try testing a discount, the price didn't let them, or the shipping fee was too high. So when they saw that, they got scared and they didn't check out. Or they just were like, they needed a little more trust. So maybe they just need to be nurtured a bit more, maybe put some more reviews on the website to kind of build that trust. Things like that. The pixel information is going to be very helpful. So you can see where people are either dropping off or where things are doing well, so you know what to improve. And discount codes also help to track which influencers are successfully getting buyers to your site. That can be hard if you have a lot of influencers to keep giving each of them their own discount code. So I know that even Shopify has an affiliate program that automatically makes it easy to give them their own links. And then Shopify will track for you, which of those links are doing better. But these are just some ways to kind of see, which influencers maybe are like really in touch with your target or your desired audience, and they're sending a lot of buyers your way, to use them more frequently than others, for example. And finally, because we're trying to keep this for sure under 90 minutes, is mastering. So now we've reviewed a lot of this data that's coming in from ads, that's coming in from social media, comments or lack thereof, or from the influencer, reviews that they're doing. You get to see what their audience is kind of saying. Your website analytics is showing you what people are doing. You can even install what's called like a live view, so that it can track when customers come. You're not seeing any personal information for the person, but it just shows you when you can go back and replay what each customer looked at when they visited. So if you see that a lot of customers you were sending them to one product, but another product caught their eye, or you were sending them somewhere and they're not even scrolling far enough. Maybe they think that the page, ended, or you could kind of watch and see what people are navigating to and clicking on, and that also can give you a lot of good data on what you could probably improve, or maybe if your product description isn't clear enough, or maybe some ways to include more perks, benefits, showcase some more people using it. If the photos don't seem to be inspiring them, they're not really clicking through. Watching and kind of seeing what a couple people do on your website has given me for sure some insight on things that I could improve. So that's one way to just make sure you are looking through that data. That's why you want to outsource all these other tasks, so that you can be the brain that is just looking at some of these things and figuring out ways to improve experience, improve products based on either things people are asking for now. Maybe someone said, oh, what would even be better is if you did this. Customers will tell you a lot of what they're looking for. So you want to have that freedom to just be reviewing all this data that now, is going to automatically be kind of fed to you. You can even go back and look at some of your emails and see, which ones gave you some sales. If it was either a flash sale that did it, if it was, highlighting certain holidays, email data from Klaviyo, you can go in and I could see that, oh, these many people clicked on this email this week, but last week, not too many. Or these many people clicked, but even though it was less, I still got more sales. So maybe I know, okay, that content still is pretty good then. You really can look at now all the data and make some informed decisions of how to increase your, that brand impact, and how your brand is best serving others, and then just keep automating ways to better serve them, and looking at what to boost or replicate, or what to trash and stop doing. If, for example, a certain email is leading to a lot of people leaving, it's like, why? What happened? What did I say? You may want to kind of look at, or they're not finding it valuable. It just helps to look at that data, because if an email is causing people to leave your brand, which people will, people are going to unsubscribe. But it should be where you're still bringing in more than are leaving. All right, no hard feelings. All this data is all play. It's all practice to understand your audience better, to figure out better ways to serve them up new items that they'll love to rock, love to represent, love to utilize in their own life. And, just to represent the lifestyle that they themselves are building, and to that niche audience that you've discovered and that you yourself enjoy representing. So just keep that in mind. If 10 people unsubscribed, it's not that they hate you. Maybe they just were like, oh, I got what I needed out of this product. I bought a few products. Or you realize, okay, I'm not really offering them anything in these emails that make it worth staying. So maybe, you offer a discount code secret to just those on your email list, maybe once a month or something. It gives you some ideas to just play with everything, test, practice, and see what starts to show up as good business. Like your customers are responsive, they're really feeling served. And of course, allow the best ads to keep bringing customers to you. If you see that ads are really performing, continue to scale. If for some reason they stop, it could be that people have been seeing it a lot. Then, just refresh the content, refresh the captions, and keep testing. Always keep testing until you hit your desired income. And this is where it looks like I decided to mention Preflect, but they can automate a lot of that testing, measuring, and tweaking for you, which is why I like them. Testing different captions, testing different content. They mix and match it to kind of see which combinations work best. And that's hard to do manually. When you're running your own Facebook ads, they do it for you automatically. So again, keep it simple, automate, delegate, and make your brand really useful for others without having to drain you too. That is our 7-day or 7-step process for launching a flourishing brand in 7 days with minimum, income needed, minimum stress, and not losing your sanity. Again, if you do have any questions, we threw a lot of data in here, a lot of resources, but if you are just needing some more specifics, reach out. It will let me know how to improve that and whether or not we need a longer masterclass. But I really hope this helped. And if it did help, please let me know. That helps me too. Again, like I said, I know I got a bit busy and forgot to get this out much quicker, but these resources and links have really helped me a lot. And you sometimes forget a time when you didn't know about them and you were trying to figure something out on your own, which made you delay, procrastinate, and people are waiting for what you have to offer. So knowing these tools, sharing this with someone who has been wanting to start a business, they don't know how, this is a simple way for them to just get their juices, flowing on how they can set up something that is simple, automated, print on demand, and a bit easy to test out some ideas even before they maybe go bigger and decide to launch with some bigger products. So I want to hear your feedback. I want to hear if this helped, especially if certain tool really helped you and it stood out. Let me know. Okay. Trying to see if I had anything else here on these slides. That was it. I just have that. This was fun. Chat soon. Find me on Instagram at Robyn-Ann L, or hi at Robyn-Ann. The Jamaican came out right there. Robyn-Ann.com. If you prefer email, but finding me on Instagram is probably best. All right. We will talk soon. Send me your feedback. I'm serious. All right. Bye.